Excellent. I'm watching the Twitch. Hey, and we're here. Good shit. Welcome, everybody. Beyond the Controller Live, Episode 2. Welcome back. We're all happy to be here. I'm Gladys. With me, as always, is Cryptic Panther.
Hey, everybody.
Fatty.
What's up?
And joining us today as a very special guest is our good pal doing work.
What up?
So, again, big welcome to everybody. Thanks for joining us. If you're here at the beginning, if not, you'll be joining us soon, I'm sure. We're here today to talk about some of the biggest stories of 2018 and recap the year and kind of send it off. Before we do that, I'm going to open up this grulsch for you and let you delight in the pleasure that is this pop. So listen. Oh. How did I do it? Oh, I got to break the seal. Hold on.
You might want to do it by your mic, not in front of your camera.
Oh, that's right, too. There it goes.
Oh, shit.
And then this is great, too, because I can even reseal it, and then it'll... No, it's not doing it, but it did it the first time. It did the first time. Anyways, cheers.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Oh, air toast.
Air toast. Oh.
Fucking amateur hour.
Yeah.
This is only my second one that I've had.
This is
So,
almost as bad as the
get used to it.
Hadaway moves on Scum the other day, all out of sync and stuff.
All right. So first, 2018 was dominated, absolutely just strangle fucked by Fortnite. And this was not something that anybody really predicted. What? You laughing at strangle fuck?
No, I made the
that's
cough
a good
noise.
way to put it.
I made a cough noise at the Fortnite.
Yeah, grabbed gaming, the gaming world and gaming news and gamers all by the nads and the throat. Battle Royale was released into Fortnite this year and took the world by storm. And thanks for 2018, right?
It started Battle Royale for Fortnite coming like July of
2017. Yeah.
I said it was released. Fortnite was released in summer of 2017, and then a few months later, Battle Royale was added.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Oh, okay. I thought it was out of. I thought the whole.
Either way, I don't think.
I know the first Fortnite iteration, whatever it was.
Semantics. Right.
I thought that shortly after it failed, they had the Battle Royale before
They did.
the start of this year. My bad.
Mhm.
Whatever.
So, because it was free to play, it's on every format imaginable. It's a phenomenon. It's a juggernaut. And the industry, the gaming industry, has not seen this kind of almost overnight wild success before. It's pretty much the go-to as far as the most common denominator of like a battle royale. It's extremely successful. They're making $1 billion. Obviously, some of us in this group are not huge fans of Fortnite, but
that guy.
Yeah.
That guy.
You have to point up in the air, up in the corner.
So it's been breaking record after record, overtaking PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds as the most watched game on Twitch. It's got 200 million total registered players. It is over 200 million people. I mean, that's like a significant portion of the planet. Obviously, something in this game transcends
200 million registered players. That means just 200 people that have played the game or Fortnite accounts or Epic accounts. Like, what do they mean? They're not getting 200 million concurrent players. Like,
not concurrent. It's a total of registered players.
Fuck, I'm a registered goddamn fucking one then because I played the game. I admit it.
Yeah, same here.
You know,
I'm part of that
like
number, but
twice. So, you know.
Well, I mean, then you count though as one of the players, but.
Right,
I mean, we're not talking regular or concurrent.
That's all platforms, including mobile.
Sure.
I mean, so people have downloaded probably to try it. So it's kind of like those numbers aren't legit, but I get it. Yeah, what's made this a free to play? Free to play is the biggest draw to that game.
But there's thousands of free to play games, though.
Right, but
I mean, this is different somehow.
And I've said this before. Whenever Fortnite introduced the battle royale genre, or battle royale to their world, PUBG was fucking huge.
Yep.
PUBG had taken the gaming world by fucking storm, but
yeah, it is.
It was only on PC and you had to pay for it. So when they came out with the game, they came out with a smaller map size. They made it more cartoony, more to a younger style audience, not the hardcore gamer that PUBG kind of was on, that kind of catered to. So it was kind of like, oh, well, it's this game I can play like PUBG, but I don't have to pay for it. That was probably like how it get in. And I've said it before, they got lucky. They did. I mean, they didn't set out to make the biggest game in the world because they didn't realize what they had until all of a sudden people started to play it. Yeah. I mean, PUBG is the same thing. I mean, no one knew PUBG was going to blow up like it did either. I mean, it was an early access and it was like had the most concurrent players on Steam ever. Like, who saw that coming on a fucking early access title? So those two games, they kind of broke the mold of what Battle Royale is. And then we got, unfortunately, 4 million other Battle Royale games that went nowhere. Like, everyone that came out after this has been trying something totally different and nothing works.
Wait, you mean to tell me you're not a big fan of Rings of Elysium? Come on.
Oh.
Wow.
Snowboard Royale? Get out of here.
No.
Royale. There was some developers had amazing ideas for Battle Royale and the genre and how to change it up and make it interesting. But yeah, I mean Fortnite, like I said before, they got lucky. And and then all the big Twitch streamers started streaming it. And that just skyrocketed because when those people are streaming a game and it's become popular, that's just what everybody flocks to. It's like when Overwatch came out, like everyone seemed to flock to Overwatch, and that was the fucking new hotness, so everybody had to play Overwatch. But you don't even hear as much as Overwatch anymore as you used to. You still do, but it's not like every second time someone opened their mouth it was Overwatch. Another game which I didn't get into at all. I played the beta, just never get into it. It wasn't my style of game. But as a shooter, I played Fortnite. I just didn't like it, and I guess maybe I'm just so sick of hearing every second comment on anything gaming, anything related to Twitch streamers and social media is just wrapped around this bubble. It has to be Fortnite. It doesn't, and I guess I'm one of the odd men out that I think this is just ridiculous. The amount of hype that the game gets, the amount of money that is being made off cosmetics is ridiculous. They made $3 billion in profit this year off cosmetics. So what does that say about people just throwing money at a game for useless shit?
Well,
it blows my, like I said, I give them props for what they've done, but also I give them, I'm negative about the things they've done as well. So
yeah, it's pretty crazy. They definitely do stuff different than a game like PUBG. You can tell that it is designed for a younger audience. There's no question about it in my mind. And
it is, but our good buddy Uber will tell us, up and down, left and right, that it's not a kid's game.
No, it's not I wouldn't say that it's a kid's game, but it's in much the same vein that Borderlands is. Kids are attracted to cartoony, colorful things.
Yep.
And anyone who says that the developers at Epic are not hoping that millions of 13-year-olds will take mom and dad's credit card and play that game and buy cosmetic items is fucking fooling themselves.
Yeah.
One of the girls I work with, she has a younger brother, and she asked me like at Christmas time last year, like you asked me if I play Fortnite because she knows I'm a gamer. I'm like, nah, I don't play it. And she's like, her little brother, that's all he wanted for Christmas was fucking V-Buck cards. That's all he wanted for Christmas.
V-Bucks,
all he does.
I remember you telling us that.
Yeah, and it's like ridiculous. It's like what, I can't remember the young fella's age. He's like 14, 15, or I don't think he's 16 yet. He's just young fella. So, that's all he wanted was to spend virtual currency on cosmetic items for a video game. Like, what is, this is setting a precedent that to me is just bad. It's just really fucking bad. Every other gaming company is going to try to model themselves after this and just make $1 billion off cosmetics, and it's going to fail. It's going to hurt the industry in the long run, in my opinion. That's all games are going to be now. Here's a game shoved together with a lot of fucking cosmetics to buy. That's what my fear is.
Well, here's the thing, though, is that that in itself is not inherently dangerous to the gaming industry because
I don't know.
even in this game, it's free to play, so it doesn't require
Right.
anything. And as we've talked about and stated before, and all agreed on, if it's cosmetic only, we don't really care, right?
Exactly.
We're
I
not
don't have a
walking
problem.
back on that.
Right. I don't have a problem with cosmetics, and I'm not saying that I do, but the basic fact of the backbone of their whole profit margin is made off fucking cosmetics.
But why is that a
Case in
problem?
point, the whole fucking chicken outfit thing, $30 fucking for a fucking skin, and people are just throwing fucking money at the screen as fast as humanly possible for this trash.
Well,
You know what though? Like,
throw those for school in the chat.
yeah, I figured. If Lil Timmy buying chicken outfits all over the world means that I don't have to pay for like quality add-on content, more maps and things that I would generally have to pay for, then I mean, I can't say I'm necessarily super
like I
agree
said,
with
this
it,
is-
but
this
I
is
don't
the
disagree
whole-
with it either.
This is the whole fine line where the discussion's always been with us is
Yeah,
DLC versus cosmetics to fund gameplay. But like I said, if other gaming companies are solely going to try to build fucking profit and continue content support off cosmetics only, I just don't know how every gaming company is going to be able to sell $30 fucking chicken skins in a fucking game
oh, and they
and
won't.
have everybody
won't.
throwing that much money at the screen. Like, I mean, there's like I said, what they've done is amazing. No one's done this before. I give Epic Games props for it, and also I give them shit where they deserve it. But you know, like I said, I made a promise to you guys I wasn't going to engage and be negative on Fortnite. I can't do it in the fucking I can't do it on the podcast. But outside of the podcast, I've not been engaged or said anything about it. I give up because it's a pointless fight.
Speaking of not engaging, Fatty, you haven't said a goddamn word.
I know. I'm trying to walk the line here, man. I need some help.
Yeah, I keep going back to. There's two things I want to go back to, is the fact that you say that Fortnite got lucky.
Yeah.
I went to college for marketing and advertising, and I can tell you right now that Fortnite is a marketing masterpiece. They didn't get lucky. They saw the popularity of PUBG, and they took the game that was going to fail. Original Fortnite was going to fail. It was a shitty survival game. It wasn't going to go anywhere. They took that and completely changed it, executed on what they saw was popular, and did it in a way that was inclusive of literally everyone. Any grandma with a phone, a mobile phone, any grandma with a mobile phone could jump on and play Fortnite right now. You know,
Right.
They came at it with a plan, and they did well. And it's just marketing genius. I
agree that they took the shit that they had and they made something out of it. I've always said that, but I still believe even PUBG got fucking lucky, man. Anybody that made a game that made that kind of fucking money that fast didn't set out to say, "Oh, we're making $1 billion this year," and fucking do it. No one's ever done that. I mean, I agree with you, but I also, like I said, I still stand by me saying they did get lucky.
I don't know. I don't think that's luck.
Well,
you know, PUBG maybe because they were kind of the first to do it in a sense, but I mean, if you're the second person to create something, but you do better than the first person, is that luck or is that knowing what the fuck you're doing?
Well, I still stand by
Fair
what
point.
I said. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
I definitely think the mixture of how they've done what they've done is lightning in a bottle. I don't know that we'll see another
No.
game do what this one's done in the amount of time that it's done it.
No, I don't think we'll ever see it again.
Meg, that's his kid. To address the chat.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, "Get the fuck out, kid."
Yeah, that's my son, Meg, and he's at work. Good call in the chat. Wash some dishes. Wash some dishes, boy.
But Meg,
Get your ass to work.
cheers to you for sticking up for one of the guys.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why Meg's good people, man.
All right, so Fatty, what was the second point you wanted to address? You said there was two.
Oh fuck, that's good. I completely forgot.
Sorry, I stepped all over you and I apologize.
Fortnite is good. point
Oh
two.
no, I remember what it was. The cosmetics argument, that their whole margin of profit is from cosmetics. I don't really stand on either side of that, but why is that a problem?
Well, and that's what I was alluding to in my response as well. Is we've stated several times through multiple controversies for different games that if it's cosmetic only, all of us agreed at several points that that's fine with us. If it's not affecting direct gameplay or people's capabilities in game, if they're not hiding skills or abilities or items behind paywalls, then it just being purely cosmetic, we don't have a problem with that. So this is just like the most extreme scenario that could possibly hit, to where it's entirely cosmetic. The only things you can buy in the game are cosmetic, and somehow they're making $3 billion off of it. And that's crazy and it's mind-boggling, but the principle still stands that with it being cosmetic only, per having our integrity here, that shouldn't bother us.
It just the fact that it's like, I don't have a problem with cosmetics. I just look at it, it's like they're making this, and I just picture fucking people spending every fucking ounce of their money, and it's basically a gambling thing again, right? Oh, I gotta have this skin, I gotta have that skin, and people are throwing out fucking more money on one game on cosmetics than fucking a full retail fucking video game. It just blows my mind. I guess I'm just on the outside going, I'd never fucking do that. People who fucking do this are retarded.
But it's their money.
You can we've all just said the same thing. Yeah, exactly. Well, the thing is that you can accept that, and I agree with you. That blows my mind. I'm all over the fucking wall because of that. But that's an entirely separate thing. I can recognize that and accept it, and still say that it doesn't bother me, and it shouldn't affect the gaming industry in a negative way.
I just look at it as because the game, and I know I'm beating the dead horse on this, saying it's marketed to fucking kids. You can't fucking tell me it's not. It is marketed to kids. All the kiddie fucking stuff, all the flashy, all the outfits, all the crazy add-ons for the characters. And every time you turn around, it's little kids playing the game. Little kids doing Fortnite dances. Little kids doing that. Little kids doing this. And the whole thing on Fortnite stealing content from fucking creators without fucking paying for it.
Well, the thing is, though, is what is this going to lead to? Because I feel like you take the stance that this is bad for gaming. You just said earlier that this is bad for gaming.
Everybody's going to try to mimic and make the backbone of their whole fucking industry on cosmetics.
I disagree with that.
Well, I'm scared. That's what I'm worried about.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody got fucking pissed off at DLC comes out for video games, but then everybody fucking buys DLC. If everyone stops buying DLC, then what happens? We go back to the old world. You get one game and that's all you get. It's out the door. It's done. Rinse, repeat next year. So with cosmetics,
but that's not a bad thing either.
No,
though.
But I'm saying then they're looking at, okay, it's cosmetics, so we got to sell a $60 game, then we got to have fucking $40 cosmetic kits, and we got to have season pass, we got to have special events, everything's got to be cosmetic based, and if they don't sell, then the game falls apart, and then you don't have a fucking player base anymore. It's such a fine line that I'm scared that everybody shit on DLC and season passes, like premium for Battlefield. People shit on that for years. And then all of a sudden they come out with a Battlefield with cosmetics, and people are fucking shitting on them over cosmetics. It's like they can't fucking win for losing over there. Now that Fortnite has set the precedent for cosmetics to make billions of dollars, I'm scared that everybody else is going to try that same thing. And game companies and developers are going to fucking fall apart because this is what they're going to try. I'm just scared that they're setting a precedent that everyone else is going to try to mimic.
I don't think the precedent is going to happen. I think your fears are founded somewhat, but you can't also paint like Battlefield with the broad stroke brush and say that this is, a causal, like Fortnite with their cosmetic success turned Battlefield into going cosmetics only. It's not the same thing. They do it differently. And obviously, DICE had no idea what they were doing when they were designing Battlefield 5 around cosmetics.
No, and I mean, I wasn't saying that it was because of that in this. I wasn't saying it was a total causality, but it was a point. like the same thing as every time you turn around, like they sell skins, they sell that, they sell this. So your game is gonna basically, you're gonna open up your game and it's gonna be like a fucking mobile game because it's gonna be, oh, buy this, buy that, here's a new skin, here's a new skin. Like fuck, it just cringes the shit out of me to realize this is what it's gonna be.
Well, I mean, okay,
Like
let's think of it this way. Work, you played Fortnite with me in Uber today. What was the
Yep.
first thing you did when you opened up your game?
Bitched about the Christmas music.
yeah. Real talk.
Okay, but did you go to the store? Did you look at outfits and shit, or did you just want to jump into a game?
I looked at stuff just to kind of see for curiosity's sake.
Well, fuck. Okay, gaming's done.
Yeah.
You were hoping he was gonna say.
Yeah.
I was hoping he would be like me and just say, "Yeah, we're getting into the game," but no.
That
you
that
fucked
choose
us.
your adventure page
Yeah.
just went
No,
to
I
the,
look-
the end of
I
the
had-
book.
I had no intention on like I wasn't looking for desire purposes. I was just like, oh, I wonder what they have in there.
No,
But that was also mainly because I was waiting for people to get on. I think if everyone had been ready, it would have been like, all right, let's go play.
my point I was trying to make until you fucked me before dining me.
Sorry. Hey, at least I let you talk.
I guess so. My point I was trying to make was not everyone is going to worry about opening up the store for, you know, getting microtransactions or any of that shit. I mean, when I jumped on today, it was literally join the party, let's go. And there are plenty of people out there like that. I think we need to stop worrying about if they're going to if this is the future of gaming, because we're just being paranoid at that point. What we have to do is kind of, and this is going to be blunt, deal with it like we deal with drug addicts. We see them buy their meth and spend all their money on
Throw
it.
them in jail.
But we can't control them from buying that
Wait,
meth. So
no,
let
that's only in
them buy
America.
that meth and deal them themselves and not buy
More
meth
on
for
cosmetics.
ourselves. We'll just go on about our business and watch them buy their meth.
Ignore it and hope it goes away.
So
Yeah,
we treat them
pretty
like
much.
homeless
Okay.
people.
Yeah.
Got it.
Jack can
Except
spend
the
all the
Fortnite
money on
players.
cosmetics. They can't afford to fucking pay rent.
They can't
Shut up,
afford real life
$400,000 house,
cosmetics.
That's right. Oh.
They're walking into retail stores asking people how many V-Bucks they need for this t-shirt.
Y'all got
They're
any
back.
more than V-Bucks?
They're back behind the fucking.
I need some chicken.
No.
They're behind the Kmart.
Chicken food? No, I need that chicken
I just-
skin.
No,
I
but
just
I,
don't
I
think we
think
need
this
to worry.
fear is it's going too far in fear mongering, because we've heard the same things to where people are sure that single player games are dead
Oh,
because
that's
multiplayer is the
fucking
way
EA.
to. Well, no. This is more than just EA though. This was like
Mm-hmm.
a big fear in the gaming industry in the last 2 years. That multiplayer was where everything was going. Cosmetics is where everything are going. Everything has to be connected at all times. You need a companion app. You need to have everything involved in there. You need to be able to sell DLC, season passes, everything. Single player games are dead is where we thought we were going in the gaming industry in 2018.
And then God of War one game. of the
And
year.
God of War wins Game of the Year and all these awards and everything. And then Red Dead releasing the single player releases by itself, which for multiple reasons, but still, I mean, Game of the Year for a lot of people, right up there in the discussion for sure, and worthy of it without even the online component. We've seen massive success and record-breaking success of single-player games this year. And so I think that we tend to think of the worst-case scenario and kind of fail to see like the realistic chance of it versus, a million other things that could happen. We don't know where this is going to go yet. I mean, obviously, no one could have predicted Fortnite taking over the gaming industry, but I don't think that we can say for sure that any one thing is going to happen. Gaming has always been, in a way, wild like that, to where trends happen. Stuff comes out, has massive success. People try to copy it. Battle Royale, we've seen. That was also 2017 and 18, the 2 years of Battle Royale. And it's now just incredibly oversaturated.
Well,
Like another one comes out and everybody's just like, ugh.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. That's, oh God, every game's gonna have Battle Royale now. That's
Every
exactly,
game
we were
does.
saying it. Well, no,
Every
they
game
don't.
fucking does.
No. Battlefield's gonna have it.
Name
Call of
5
Duty's gonna
games that
have it.
don't- It's easier to say name the 5 games that don't have fucking Battle Royale or
That's not true.
or a Battle Royale fucking potential down the
That's
road.
that's not true. But my
Fucking Red
point
Dead has a
my-
battle royale, man.
My point.
We joked about it and it fucking came true.
Yeah,
Shit.
there's no jetpacks though.
No, it's not yet.
But anyways, my point is that we stoke the flames of fear a little easy, I think, and I think that it's been proven time and again that whatever our worst case scenario is, as far as our gaming fears for the industry, for even sometimes particular games, it just doesn't happen that way, and it's for a lot of reasons. You know, there are industry insiders that push back against these kind of things. There's marketing analysts that say this is a trend now, let's cash in, but then also, hey, this is now becoming a bit too much. I don't think 2019 is going to see more than maybe not even 5 high-profile battle royale games.
Oh, I don't think we'll see that.
That's nothing as far as the genre. I think battle royale is going to dry up and disappear by 2020. Nobody would have said that last year.
No,
Battle Royale was the thing. So these trends and everything right now are exactly that. It's temporary. They're reaching incredible highs like we've never seen, but they will come down. And I just don't agree with saying that everything's going to be cosmetic and look like a mobile game and all that stuff. There's too much money to be made for quality games. When the studios take the time to do it, they can rake in money just as well as anybody else. God of War broke records too. And ran.
Maybe we can just all stop talking about Fortnite.
That would be best for you. Yeah. All right. Well, then on that note, let's move on here. Something else that we probably are all sick of talking about: loot boxes. Loot box controversy after controversy in 2018. You know, this is another one that. This is my version of Panthers Fortnite hate. Like, I hate talking about loot boxes, man. It pisses me off. It gets me riled up. This was a fear that I had, you know, that I can absolutely admit, you know, that I had a deep sense of like, fuck, you know, this is going too far. Battlefront 2 was a goddamn disaster. It's taken forever to get back into like a playable state. And now just... with legislation, you know, possibly coming, we've talked about different legal battles in different places. It's a big deal, and one that absolutely has the effect or possibility of changing the gaming industry as we know it. Loot boxes, as we know them now, and as they're becoming more and more generally accepted as gambling devices and hooks. A lot of gamers are taking up arms against them, have taken up arms and protested these things. Like I said, legislature's in the works. There's different legal battles being fought. Developers like 2K appealing to their fans to try to talk to legislators. It was a wild year for loot boxes, and it really reached ahead. So do we have any predictions on where that's going to go as we're still talking about blowing up our fears? What do we think?
Well, considering Warner Brothers removed loot boxes from Shadow of War and then Microsoft took them at Forza 7, I think we're finally on the right path to where loot boxes are going to be the rarity now and not you know the norm for every fucking game that comes out. It's not going to be full of loot boxes. I think the trend is going back, and I mean with those countries like Belgium and Netherlands and a few others that are getting on the bandwagon of banning them, it's forcing game developers to find ways around and through and not have the, you know, the loot boxes and the gambling and the, you know, the card packs and games. That's the biggest challenge for them right now, because now they have to put in the odds of getting the, you know, the super rare cards and stuff. And we went over that multiple times, and we got in depth on one too for the FIFA game about all the packs and all the cards and all the packs and all the different types of packs, and just it's reskinned cards of the same player with different stats, and it's sick. The amount of money that they make, I mean, it fucking infuriates me to no end with the amount of money that people constantly shell out on these packs, and they don't see a problem with it. But yet they turn around and the next year they spend another $2,000-3,000 to build an Ultimate Team. Next year they do to another $2,000 or $3,000 again. It blows my mind. And you know, Uber's mentioned before the amount of money he spent on like pack openings and stuff like that. It blows me away. You can buy a fucking good quality used car for the amount of money that boy spent on fucking packs.
Yeah,
Shit. Like,
that's true.
Yeah. So the gambling and the loot boxes and the packs, I think, are on the way of the dodo. Hopefully.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we could all agree on is good for the gaming industry. As much opinion piece as that may be, for sure, gambling and these loot boxes are just a fucking contagion that didn't seem to go away.
Yeah, like if I want to spend money on your game, just let me buy what I want.
Yeah.
I'm much more likely to buy the thing that I want than I am to buy something that might have the thing that I want.
Yes.
And Smite is the perfect example of that. They do all those loot crates, but you can also just buy skins. If I want a skin, just let me buy the damn skin.
Now, do they give you the chances of getting like certain tiers of items or anything like that in the boxes?
Well, they will tell you what's in the box, so it'll be up to 5 things, and you'll get 2 or 3 of them. So, I mean, you have a fairly reasonable amount of information as to what you might acquire. At least it's not like, buy this box and it's got one of 600 different skins in it. It's one of 4 or 5 things. So if you don't see the skin that you want as a possible reward, you can just say, fuck it, pass on that one, which that's nice. Okay. But I'd rather just buy the skin, right?
Right. Yeah. Having the option to just directly buy whatever it is, then obviously.
That's what I do in a store. I don't go buy a loot box with milk in it. If I want milk, I go buy the fucking milk. That's how commerce works. Fatty, would you like to talk?
You know what? Like, I actually, I don't.
Fuck. He loves loot boxes. It's coming out.
Oh yeah,
where's Fatty?
Big fan.
Fatty's gonna walk into Panthers picture. You motherfucker!
No.
No, I was gonna say, like, I actually don't play a whole lot of games that have loot boxes. Thinking about it now, maybe Force. I don't know.
Not anymore.
Yeah. Like that.
I think Smite was the only one I was playing, and I haven't touched that.
Exactly. Gosh, so like, I've got to agree with Panther. I think they're on their way out. I don't think they're as big an issue as they were, and hopefully 2019 will see the end of them.
Especially with lots of developers being in countries that are taking legislative action against them.
Yeah, exactly.
They're kind of forcing their hand a little bit, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish they could, do that to some other shitty things in life. Looking at you, spam phone calls and texts.
Yeah, really. Fuck.
Oh God, all their podcasts is
Come on, get your shit together. It's enough. I'll stop.
That's enough. All right, so another big thing that happened in 2018 was a confirmation that Microsoft is working on multiple versions of Xbox hardware. Something that I had talked about actually with you guys, some of you, and that I have in our document, our Beyond the Controller document, as a possible discussion point on like customizable consoles and maybe the idea of like a lesser console, like to get you in the door, and kind of just basically like consoles as PCs, like easy to upgrade. You can buy different components. Everything would be playable on these on some type of quality level, but you could spend more money to do all that thing. So I had the idea of like customizable consoles as one thing. Microsoft is kind of going in that direction now, but not really customizable in the sense of the hardware, more in what capabilities this hardware is going to have and how it's working.
Stop it, Panther. Stop yawning.
Sorry.
Got me going.
So they were talking about, and it's been confirmed, there's going to be basically a minimalist Xbox console that is just all digital. If I remember correctly, there's no disc tray.
Yeah, there's no disc
right?
tray.
Okay, so it's completely digital. There was another one, and this I'm real hazy about remembering the details on, but was there not a basically like a cloud-based console that didn't require like anything at all, like you just connected to play something? What was
I don't know if that was Xbox making
it may
the
not
system,
have been,
but I think they were like implementing a service or trying to work with a service like that.
Didn't Google do something?
I know
like
Google's doing that, yeah. And then
there was another
gaming one. Yeah.
Another one, that where you can basically they stream the game to pretty much any type of device.
Yeah,
that you can play on. Yeah, that's not Microsoft. That's someone else. But that's a big thing. The whole
That's
streaming
Yes.
service thing is something. But like I said, that's not going to fly for people that have data limits and people that live in areas where they can't get extreme internet one way or the
Yeah,
other. Right?
yeah.
So
if you're not rocking
it's going to
cable,
be for I mean, there's going to be large groups of people that live in big metropolitan areas that can say, yeah, we got fiber, we got whatever you need, but there's still going to be a lot of outliers that say, well, I got data caps and etc. But yeah, the thing with
Sure, yeah.
Xbox though, or Microsoft doing this, they actually have an Xbox One S coming out that has no drive in it this year, isn't it? Or is it for? I guess it's next year now, 2019.
Yeah.
Before they release the new versions, they're actually putting out an Xbox that only has, or that it's only it's only downloads, no disc at all. So it's going to be a cheaper version of the game or the console.
Yeah, and then because that wasn't involved in their Project Scarlet family of devices, this was kind of a precursor. It was essentially the same generation of Xbox now, but just no disc drive.
No disc.
And it would be a lot cheaper too.
Yeah, it's going to be cheaper. So anyone that's looking to pick up a cheap console, to play games, I mean, it's definitely going to be an option. And I imagine we'll see PlayStation follow suit with something. Probably, I don't know about a PS4 model, but I imagine the next generation of PlayStation is going to probably have a digital version only where it's all downloads.
Well, I think what they should do is just release a what's the no no but the streaming service they have for games, PlayStation Now.
PS Now, yeah.
I think that should be just a console for them. Just put a brick and connect it to the server.
Well, they have that already. The PlayStation TV. It accesses PS Now. It streams from your PS4. It's the same shit.
But it's a standalone.
Yeah,
box?
it's a standalone. You buy it, and you can. If you
Today
have
I learned.
internet access, and you subscribe to PlayStation Now, you can play all those games on your TV.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Here's a question. What was the last physical game you all bought, had given to you, whatever it is?
Spider-Man.
So that's recent. Baker's thinking, fatty.
And Red Dead. No, I pre-ordered.
I got Red Dead physical, but I also got Fallout 76 physical. So that'd be
mine's gonna fuck you up.
That's a tough one. I think mine was probably Witcher 3.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
It's not that long ago, but yeah.
No, that's pretty old.
My game
So-
beside me, it's like, it would be Spider-Man would be the, and I think God of War is God of War was physical and Spider-Man were physical copies, I do believe. Yeah.
The last one that I acquired was
Kirby.
Skyrim Special Edition. I got it given to me for Christmas last year. The last one I bought was GTA 5 on the PS4.
Damn.
Okay.
wow.
So, like, I don't fucking need a disc tray. I get my shit digital.
Well,
And I'm
pretty
still on the
much.
stream. Sony. Digital games should not be full price.
Yes.
Exactly.
Well, not just
I want-
Sony. Anybody, any
I was
game.
about to
everyone.
say,
Yes, all of you.
absolutely
Everyone.
But see, that's why I have physical copies, because I've pre-ordered copies through E3 sales. And that's why I have physical copies of games. Red Dead I pre-ordered, but I said I wanted the special edition, so I said screw it, and I ordered it digitally and canceled my other.
It's got a disc made of leather. Special edition.
It comes in a saddlebag.
That's
Yeah.
right.
one.
But it's a shitty like vinyl saddlebag. It's not like a good canvas one.
No, it wasn't
It's
a good
just the
canvas,
Fallout
so-
trash bag.
Bethesda.
And Fallout scribbled out and Rockstar written over top of it.
Fucking highlighter because they couldn't afford Sharpies.
Yeah.
That would be a collector's item, man.
Hell
Yeah, right. I'd mount
But
the
yeah,
shit out of
that's a
that.
good point though. That I haven't really thought about it, but without meaning to, I've gone pretty much all digital.
Yeah.
I prefer to go that way myself, but with pre-order sales on physical copies of games that I'm saving close to $30 a pop, it's kind of hard for me to just go digital. I prefer it, but
that and,
And so,
like collector's
like-
editions.
So what's the point of that? Like, why is it beneficial of a company to reduce the price of something so that you'll buy a physical copy of it, which puts another physical copy in circulation that people can buy for cheaper and cheaper and cheaper
well,
going
it's
forward?
it's Amazon and Walmart. They don't care about fucking resale. They don't care. They're getting the sale out of it.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
the
true.
middleman
That's
gets
true.
paid, right? So not the developer.
Yeah.
you know.
Because I don't get my digital stuff like I bought Red Dead right on the freaking PS4 store.
Yeah.
Me too. But I mean, we have limited choices for buying digital around here. I can't.
Really?
I don't. Like Walmart doesn't sell digital codes. I mean,
Oh,
GameStop
yeah.
does, but GameStop's not in my city. I have to drive 45 minutes
Yeah.
only to get one. So I mean, there's not. I just can't go to Walmart and pick up a digital copy.
Well, I mean, if I'm gonna drive to a GameStop, I'll just buy the fucking physical copy of the game. I'm talking about. I don't want to leave my house. I want to pre-order that shit digitally, and when I get home from work that day, I want to play right now. Auto download, and I don't want to pay 100% of the price.
I got to play Destiny 2 early because I pre-ordered physical because Amazon shipped it.
Oh yeah.
Spider-Man, I played it 2 days early because I had to stream it through my PlayStation 4's remote software because it was blocked on streaming it from the console because it was so early. So yeah, I mean, it was like 2 days early. So I mean, there's an advantage. I mean, I'm on there playing a game 2 days early because I pre-ordered Amazon. But I mean, the biggest reason is that if I could pre-order a digital copy and save that kind of money, I would do it digital for sure.
I just remembered you used to play Destiny. That was a long ass time ago.
Yeah, used to.
All right, let's move on. We had Microsoft's next console and Sony. They confirmed years ago, actually, that they were working on new hardware, but never said anything more than that. Multiple rumors have come up that developers are even working on PlayStation 5 games. So with a possible 2019 release date, maybe even 2020 if they really, really take their time, they're building something up. We've been having really nothing leak as far as what it's going to be, if there's going to be multiple versions of it, even really no information other than we know that it's somewhere in the pipeline. Is there anything you think that Sony could, I mean, obviously there's going to be some things, but what do you think would be a mistake for Sony to do?
Be a mistake?
That's an interesting
if they, yeah, because I mean, we expect certain things, it's going to be better hardware. It's going to be faster, stronger, more powerful. It's going to have 4K, built into it, I'm sure. But what would be something that would make them stumble? Like Microsoft coming out of the gate with the Xbox One, online only, huge uproar, and they fucking did a 180 then.
Not fix the VR system.
Just reiterate VR as is?
No, not fix it would be a mistake. They need to fix it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they just carried over the current...
If they were like, yeah, PSVR is good as it is, and they were like, here, it's compatible. No, they need to do that because it's fucking garbage now.
I was going to say not have backwards compatibility.
Ooh, yeah. I think that needs to go for both Microsoft and Sony.
Yeah,
well,
I think at this point,
Microsoft built their backbone to Xbox One with
right.
Yeah.
But again, not every title's backwards compatible right now, so
no.
Still.
But yeah.
Sure. Actually, I got a bigger one. But go ahead.
No, you go.
Not having crossplay.
Well,
I think on the next generation of consoles, that is going to be a big fucking deal.
Are you saying for like all multiplayer games or just the select few of theirs? Because there's only like a handful that have it.
Well, I mean, right now it's what, Smite, Warframe?
Yeah,
no.
Fortnite, Rocket League.
Fortnite is obviously the big elephant in the room, but any game that wants to have crossplay, if the next Call of Duty comes out and it's crossplay,
So you're saying them not putting an emphasis on crossplay would be the big mistake?
Well, to maintain their steadfast, I don't fucking think so position. It's gonna, because we all know the only reason Epic got it is because they basically threw money at them until they said, all right, fine.
Yeah.
Because that's the only game on PS4 that's crossplay right now. It's the only fucking one. And on Xbox, you can do, what is it, Forza, you can do Sea of Thieves, you can do Warframe, you can do fucking Smite. I mean, there's a bunch of them. Minecraft. Fucking Minecraft is crossplay on the PS4. It's been around for 100 years.
The thing is, some of those titles though are owned by Microsoft, though, so they're crossplay between PSC.
Well, sure, but You know,
PC and Xbox. So, but I mean, you're gonna get into crossplay on shooters, and you're gonna fall in that whole mouse keyboard versus controller bullshit.
right, but
Which I'd
that's
say
up,
is an issue with Fortnite as well, since then
and that's up to the end user to decide if they want to
like
play on a
that.
console. Then let them fucking play on a console. But the choice should be theirs to make, and not.
right. I get it. I mean, but crossplay, I don't know. I mean, crossplay is a moot point for me. If they didn't have crossplay, I'd give a fuck. Give two
Well,
shits.
maybe, but you know, let's think about. I used to play a fair amount of Smite, and one of the reasons that I stopped playing is because trying to find lobbies and stuff on the PS4 version is terrible because it's not supported as well as the PC version. But if the PC people could play with the PS4 people, they would be forced to support that version of that game, and the player base would be much bigger. So I'd have a lot bigger pool to swim in, so to speak.
Right. So in some cases, it may help, but for me, it's pointless. But back to the backwards compatibility. Now that the architecture of these consoles were built on are basically PC. Well, they are PC. They're x86 architecture, same as my Windows machine we're running this podcast off of. So, yeah, I mean, backwards compatibility should not be a question going forward for either developer.
Yeah,
or either
exactly.
console maker for sure.
And I mean,
We
all have too huge a collections of games to not have backwards compatibility. That's basically what they do with the PS3, is just throwing it under their bus. I still have to have mine in order to play these games that I've amassed over the years. So I think
because of that emulating of the PS3 backend is the PS4 couldn't do it and run the game. That's the problem.
Yeah, but I mean, still, what I'm saying is like they should be able to do that now.
Yeah, going forward, it shouldn't be a question for every developer, every console developer, I should say. I guess I keep saying developer, but it's not up to them.
And I'm gonna give a ding to crossplay as well. For the fact that I've bought GTA 5 times, and I still don't even have it on PS4. So, give me fucking crossplay. Shit's expensive.
This guy.
Right, it is.
This guy knows what he's talking about. This guy.
That's true. All right, so we've got backwards compatibility and crossplay. Is there anything else?
And a
And
VR.
VR. Fixing the
And
VR.
VR, that's right. That's VR. Yeah, I forgot about it. So did Sony, though, so that's okay.
If they admit those three, that's a mistake. What do you think, Baker?
Oh, I went the wrong way. Damn it.
What?
This guy. That guy
Oh,
knows what he's
it's
talking
different.
about.
The Discord screen is because
it's different than
I've got the Discord screen up right now too because it responds quicker. I don't want to like lag behind and figure out where I'm going, you know. My thing for the PlayStation 5 as a mistake, if it comes out, something that I don't think you guys have said yet, but when we briefly talked about a diskless system, I don't want to see that. I don't, and the reason is the PlayStation 3 when I had it and the PlayStation 4 have both been the center of my entertainment center. I've got hundreds of movies. I've got Blu-rays. I've got 4Ks. So now I have a 4K player, but having a central hub that can fit all of my needs is valuable to me. That's who I am as a consumer. I don't want, similar to how there's a different launcher, you know, for every single fucking developer now. It's a pain in the ass. I don't want to have a Blu-ray player, but not a 4K player. So then I have to get that. And then all my games that I have now piled up, I can no longer do anything with because I don't have discs anymore. I don't want to deal with the headache of trying to go to GameStop and trying to get digital codes, if that's even the thing that they do, for 75 plus games. I would love to just be able to continue to pop in something, you know, have it just read it and play. You know, that's the easiest thing for me. And going entirely diskless to me causes more headaches than problems that are solved by doing that.
Now,
right, but they're not gonna release a console. Just the whole thing is not gonna be that way.
Yeah, like
we don't know that
with
though.
Xbox, they're releasing it as an option, right? You still have the option to buy the disc versions.
Right.
Would that be
no,
something
he's saying
if
if they just completely.
Yeah,
if
this is the mistake. Remember, this is the mistake. Remember, yes.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Yeah, I think if they go all digital, that'll be bold. That'll be looking towards the future. That'll be a good move for a lot of reasons. But who I am as a consumer, I'm gonna really, really hesitate because what am I supposed to do with all my other stuff now? I typically don't keep past console generations. When I got my PS3, I kept my PS2 until it broke, and I didn't get a new one. When I got my PS4, I got rid of my PS3, and I don't see a need to keep around the PS4 once PS5 comes out, because you upgrade typically, and for me it's the next thing. But I don't keep many of those past ones, especially not with availability on like PlayStation Now, or they have like the classic titles on the store. If I ever felt the need to get some of those things, they're accessible enough to where I could get them. But for the stuff that I already own, I don't like the idea of being forced into an all digital frontier.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a mistake for me.
Absolutely. And as someone that grew up in an area that did not have high-speed internet, if I couldn't go buy a disc to play the game that I wanted to play on my Xbox 360, I just couldn't get that game. I'd have to take my console to someone else's house and plug it in. So they would be cutting out I think a significant chunk of their market.
Yep.
That wouldn't have access to the high-speed thing. But that brings up an interesting point, because, I mean, games are getting so big.
Yeah.
I mean, Shadow of War was something like 60 or 70 gigabytes, and I don't know what the capacity of like a double layer Blu-ray is, but I think we're going to get to a point here pretty soon where either stuff's going to have to start coming on 2 discs, or you're going to buy a disc and then you're going to come home and it's going to be the disc plus another 20 or 30 gig download. You're going to have to make like
we're seeing that already though.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens. And then what happens again to those people who don't have access to high speed internet? Like, what are they going to do at this point?
Oh, Red Dead Redemption 2 is already on 2 discs. Two PlayStation 4 discs. 2 fucking.
I would know because I haven't bought a PS4 disc in like a year. But
it's 2 discs. There's an install disc and a play disc.
Is that something?
It's like the old school days, man. But I mean, Nintendo has to do that. They have their games because of the format they use for their games. Or that disc or the cartridge can't hold all the data. There's games that you plug in, then you have to go home and download half the game again.
Which is funny because you can totally get like 256 gigabyte SD cards.
Yeah, but
so I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I don't want developers don't want to pay that cost, the back end cost, to have to put the fucking.
They should stop using FAT32 so they can do more than 4 gigabyte file sizes or something, man.
Well, and that's one of their mistakes that they made with how they designed their system. If we were talking about Nintendo right now, we don't have that problem with. For me, what are AAA consoles? The Xbox console, and Steve just wheeling around there. I don't know.
I'm like 2.5 beers in.
We don't really have that issue with Microsoft and Sony. They tend to take care of their stuff, and storage is a big thing for them. The Switch I don't take seriously as a console. That's just my opinion. I mean, it's an incredibly poor designed piece of hardware.
Oh, you mean the expensive DS, whatever?
Yeah.
The shit DS. Yeah, the SDS, the shit DS.
Yeah. So I mean, that's one of their mistakes that they made, and I feel like they just continuously made them, but still seen success. But they just seem to tap into a market that will not stray from giving them their business, despite whatever the mistakes that they made. Whatever they do, it seems like they still will sell millions of copies. But I don't know. I think that those few things that we just mentioned are big ones. Beyond that, I don't really know what else they could do to really fuck it up. I mean, it's got to be a stronger, faster system. It has to be. You can't release the next console generation and not have hardware upgraded. So that's a given.
My question is along the lines of hardware and performance is 4K really necessary in gaming, in console?
I think they're going to push it. I don't think it's necessary, but I think it's where it's going.
They need to push for the stable 60 frames. That needs to be their goal. 4K, give a stable 1080 60 or 4K 30 to give people the option. I mean, I know they can do 4K 60. That's what the Xbox One X can do on some titles. It can't do it on all. It can on some. So, I mean, that's fine. But 4K 60, that takes a lot of fucking horsepower.
Yeah.
So, and that's going to increase costs of a console. I'd rather see them say, okay, 4K is an option, but we're going to throttle it to 4K 30, or you can do 1080 60. I mean, I've played games in 4K, and I tell you, they look damn good. But I mean, after the whole 1080-60 being the kind of the benchmark for the longest time in gaming, the consoles have never been, that's never been their complete benchmark. And I'd like to see that be the new norm, and then 4K being over and above.
I don't think there's any reason why that's not going to happen.
I hope.
I think with the more powerful hardware, we're going to see that like just inherently happen. I think so.
It has to. I think it has to. I think we're at that point now that, considering where the PC market's gone to, and 1080-60 is the standard on console or on PC right now, then I mean, console needs to get there before they push 4K as always being the norm.
Sure.
So another question I have: do you think that we're going to see Microsoft and Sony do the half console upgrade sooner or later after they launch the new consoles? How long of a cycle do you think we'll see the PS5 Pro and the Xbox 2 XS WRTQ5?
I think 2 years.
Yeah.
You think a 2-year window?
2 years.
I would like
2020
the console, by 2022 we're going to see the next upgrade.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
probably about right.
I would like for
Because
it to
I
just
feel
go
like-
away, honestly.
yeah, I know, me too. Yeah. I feel like they're trying to adapt extremely quickly to whatever the trend is. I think also getting a leg up on each other. Right now, Xbox has the most powerful console on the market. That's one of the only flags that they can wave proudly.
Yeah.
They don't have the sales. They don't have the exclusive titles. They just have the most powerful console. We see that that's not enough because it hasn't made that much of a dent in sales. PlayStation 4 is still incredibly far ahead. I think that any leg up they can get on the competition, they're going to try to do. And I think with this console generation, Xbox has tried and succeeded and failed in some areas, but they've tried to be the first one in the door with each time. With the announcement of their console, the announcement of the console capabilities, they ended up having to rework it and everything like that. But I think we also saw a new Xbox version before the PS4 Pro, right?
Well, just the S version, like their Slim, it was like.
Right, but an alternate version.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
I thought the X came out first.
no, the Xbox
The
One
X is the most recent. That's the powerful one.
Yeah.
because they took an extra year before they put it out, and that's why they had to step up in horsepower, because it was a whole year later after the PS4 Pro.
I think
And,
it
like I
was.
said, I always give Microsoft the props for that. They waited a little bit longer. They needed to get that next step, and that hardware is awesome, but they still failed to have the exclusives to pull all that market in. So, yeah, I mean, I figure a 2-year window sounds about right. So you save up your pennies now to buy a PS5, and
But
the second you buy it, put your pennies away to buy a PS5 Pro.
I don't see myself doing that though, because I never bought a PS4
Nope.
Pro.
Nope.
I did.
A marginal upgrade for me? No, not having it.
Nope. And that goes back to that thing that we never quite got around to, but the customizable console. I'm still a big fan of modular parts. 2 years, hey man, here's a new GPU and some more memory.
When they were hyping up the Xbox One X, that's what I thought it was. They were talking about Project Scorpio. Oh, it's going to be the biggest thing in console gaming. I thought it was going to be a console with a modular design that we could swap parts out in.
Yeah.
And it'd be basically like a set-top PC almost, but it has the Xbox ecosystem. But no, it's just console on steroids. That's it.
Here's my thing. You know how fucking inept most people are? How are they going to be able to swap out parts in a console?
You just make it user friendly.
Yeah.
You unscrew the top, and if it's fucking labeled, and you just can either screw it out or pop it out or whatever the case. Probably
Talk
screw
like
it
a
out.
true guy that doesn't do tech support.
Not
Talk
even
like
that.
a true guy that
No, because
I'm saying you
I'm
make
with
it that easy. That's what I'm saying.
I'm with Panther. I understand if you make it to where they take the entire type off and they're faced with a circuit board, no. So I'm thinking like, and I can't think of something that is similar to this, but like
Lego.
Yeah, maybe so. But let's say there's a panel on the top of your PS5 that says GPU, and you pull out one screw and you pull that panel off, and the graphics card is attached to the fucking panel.
Yeah.
It's the whole like you're pulling a section of the top off, and then you put a new section in.
The 360 was
So
like
it makes
that
it-
with their hard drive. It wasn't.
yeah.
It wasn't just a
Very
hard drive.
similar. It was
in
like
a big
detachable to the
fucking
side.
box, right? Yeah, and you had to
Mhm.
clip it in, so you weren't sliding in a hard drive or lining up the pins or anything. You
Yeah.
just clip this big chunky thing in, and there you go, bigger hard drive.
So now imagine if you could go from a GTX 1050 to an RTX 2080 just by popping the side of your console off and slapping the new part on.
Fuck yeah, I would support that.
That'd be the
100%.
shit.
Yeah.
Well, and
That'd be
that's
the shit.
exactly what I wrote, though, in,
Yeah, I
in the
know.
discussion point there. And I don't know if Fatty's read it, but
Oh,
what I talked about was customizable consoles. I had this idea at work, and I wrote this whole fucking essay about it, about how it would.
And you put that all, it was all in the chat, and I copied it in the chat and threw it all in the doc.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. I didn't even put it in the doc. I just typed. I took the time to type that on my phone.
yeah.
It was all showing up in
And you
the
can
chat
fucking-
one day, and I was like, fuck this. I just copied it and slapped it in there. But yeah.
Yeah, and it makes it easy to sell because instead of like price points and stuff, you can make it very basic. Like if you want to run it 1080p at 30 frames per second, you buy this. And for a few bucks more, we'll put these parts in, and now you can do 2K at 60 or whatever.
Yeah.
But you put it in
Well, and
terms
that's
that
like
people
doing
can understand.
accessibility.
There's a market, but then like I said, it's fucking, man. I do tech support, dude, and for my living, and it's just
No, but
right click a mouse, man. They can't even understand right clicking a mouse. I've done tech support too fucking long and seen too many people not understand something fucking.
those aren't the people this would be marketed to, though. They wouldn't
Well,
buy that.
Well, I mean, okay, if they're gonna, how many versions of each console do we need though? This is getting into this whole Xbox One, Xbox
no.
One S,
This
One
is
X.
different
and
than
then-
that.
No, I'm saying you buy one console.
Yeah.
One.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the only so your option is to buy this $400 console with
No.
swappable parts.
Let me take the headline here.
Okay.
I'll rehash this whole thing. We're gonna have this discussion before we end the show.
Shit. Sorry, boys.
So
The rest
for
of the rest of-
$99,
Let me go ahead and knock myself out.
you get a base model.
Jesus.
It'll play 720,
100
30.
bucks. Nah, you're
100
crazy.
bucks.
Never
whatever.
happened.
No. But listen though.
Yeah.
It's a skeleton version of the current consoles that we have. It'll play everything similar to PC at a low graphical setting to where you can play the same game, you can play with your friends, you can have the same game experience. It just doesn't look as pretty as possible. For $50 more, you play at 1080p. For $50 more than that, you've got more and more hardware options, but to where where is he? He's up there. To where work was saying, if you make it that simple, and that's where I was getting at, Panther. I'm not saying that's how it is, but if you make it so simple that you can unscrew a component, pop it out, and put a better one in there, similar to how you can put graphics cards in your computer right now. If you make consoles customizable, easy, where those pieces can be bought over time, you'd have more people buying the low end option because it'd be that much cheaper. Because it'd be cheaper to manufacture, the parts wouldn't be as expensive. It would be easier for companies to sell a shell model out on the sales floor at such a cheap price, and parents would see this shit and be like, okay, it can do all the same things. That's fucking great. I'm in. Sold. Later on down the road, as that kid's growing up, he says, oh, I want the newest thing, or I want it to look best. Just we upgrade our PCs for the same reason, not that it's not capable of playing games, but because we want it to look better or play smoother or whatever, just to improve the experience. If you could buy that as marginal upgrades over time for a small price each, you would end up making more money. People can't rationalize spending $500 on the Xbox One X. But if you could buy a console bare bones for $150 and say you didn't want all the memory because you're going to do like streaming, if that's where we go in the future or whatever. If you could get that capability of playing any game on the market and at an incredibly cheap price, and it just would not look as great as other possible versions, that's PCs right there, man. That's exactly what that is.
But
You play on low settings. That's
the
it.
biggest stopping point to that is the whole minimum requirements for games. I mean, you're talking paying a game at 720p at 30 frames is the low end, is like the bottom end benchmark.
I mean, maybe,
Well,
sure.
Well, you look at yourself. I mean, some games they work more off CPU, some games work more off GPU, some use a good combine of both. But every game, as they come out, eventually their minimum requirements get higher and higher as the
Sure.
games get newer and newer. So console games, the same thing. Like what takes to run this game is not going to be the same as going to run a game in 5 years. So the curve gets longer and higher every time. So like the minimum requirement spec is going to be the biggest downfall to that low end console. It definitely, even then, it's not going to run the newest games at 720/30 because the hardware is just not going to do it. So it becomes obsolete. The same reason why you have to upgrade a PC.
But okay, think about it this way: the Xbox 360, it had numerous versions. The lowest end being the arcade, came with a 4 GB hard drive, and it played. It just played, right? It didn't look pretty,
Right.
but it played. But it could play every game on the Xbox catalog for the 360. So why couldn't they come up with a console for that, right? Like even today, my Xbox One was the first Xbox One released, right? It's the first generation. It's not the S, it's not the refresh, but it can still play every Xbox One game out there. It's not going to be in 4K or run at 60 frames per second, but it plays those. So why can't they have just that base model like they do now, but offer these upgrades that you just, you slide it in,
But then eventually you're going to get to the point where the upgrades are going to be required, though. Just like a
Sure.
PC.
But
You can't-
they haven't now.
Sure.
Like, no,
Sure,
because
well, it's required now because when the new console comes out, you can't play those games if you don't buy. The
okay,
console.
but then we're moving to a different generation, so we already have that. So
Right.
that's kind of a mute.
So
point.
at that point, there would be a new base model.
Exactly. It's just
That's it.
another console coming out. It's a PS6 coming out. But right now, they drop the next Gears of War 5. It runs in fucking 180 frames per second, 8K, blah, blah, blah. My Xbox One's still going to run that as long as they release it for Xbox One.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right,
Yeah.
I get the point.
It's a
but then-
base model that can still play those things, just not at their maximum capabilities.
Exactly. Consoles have
Okay.
always been that way, and they're always
Yes.
going to
Yeah.
be that way.
They'll
PCs
just
are different.
downscale it just like anything would upscale.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then it opens up an entire other market that no one has mentioned yet, where you can buy an NVIDIA card for your Xbox. You can go out and get it. I mean, you can get third party. Corsair can get involved. All these other companies, so you'll have more. Because if it's just modular GPUs, AMD can do that.
Yeah.
Sapphire can do that. So you're going to open up a whole market of parts, mods.
Right.
all
That was
sorts
one.
of-
That was one of the things that I mentioned too when this conversation was
Mhm.
first discussed and hashed out, was the fact that aftermarket get involved. But like I said, there's good. I was just saying, like, then okay, so you buy the $100 machine, and then after 5 years, you've dumped in $500, and you got to turn around and throw that in the garbage and start all over again.
Well, then you should have bought a PC. That's the struggle of console users right now.
Right.
Yeah, like I
you
said, I
buy an
get where
Xbox
you're
360, the Xbox One comes out, you can't play the new games on the Xbox 360. If you're worried about that, buy a PC.
Right.
It's how it is and how it's been for fucking years.
Yeah, exactly, and I get that. I mean, I'm on both sides of the spectrum. I was back in my younger days. All there was really console gaming. There wasn't really much for computer gaming back in the day. Everyone had like fucking Ataris and Nintendos, and that was it. Like, not too many. I had a Commodore 64, but I mean, there was very, very limited amount of games that were even any good on it. But I mean, I switched and I played console for a lot of years. Then I get into PC gaming. And it was that constant, you need a new graphics card, you need to upgrade, you need more RAM. I said, try to buy a console. There's a couple $100, boom, and I'm done for 4 or 5 years. So, I mean, I get your point, and I mean, the modular console is an awesome idea, and I mean, I'd be on board, but I also see potential issues. Like I said, as someone who's worked in tech and does tech support, I just picture like the fucking people on Reddit now that ask the stupidest fucking questions about their console.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how do I get my controller? It's upside down. What do I do now? I'll turn it around the other fucking way and use it. Like,
But I mean, there's people out there who don't know how to use a fork, right? They're just that dumb. You're gonna get that no matter what.
right. But
You
I
are,
mean,
yeah.
Baker said, like, parents are like, oh, they're not going to spend $500 on a console, but people spend $1,000 on a fucking cell phone.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I'm saying the mass appeal of a
Right,
cheap
right.
product that is capable of doing all this. Like me as a parent, if my daughter grows up and wants to play games and stuff, and I've got the option or the two options next to each other of like a AAA console, like the Xbox or PlayStation or whatever it is, years from now, versus something like what we're talking about, to where I'll be like, honey, you can play everything on this. it's just not going to be top of the line and all that stuff. I'm going to get that fucking option, like regardless of what the other arguments are. If I understand this hardware that it's going to be capable of playing anything that comes out at like a baseline, say even like medium settings. That's what I wrote actually in the doc is I would give the base specs medium settings, not low. So earlier I said low, but whatever. So even if you charge $150 for it, you know, still, when you make it more accessible in people's price ranges, you're gonna sell more. Things don't sell more just because they're expensive. So
I get that. I'm just saying, like, it's I agree with you. I was just, like I said, I'm just kind of saying I see the other side where there's potential issues and problems. It's something. It's an idea that could definitely do something in the gaming market, but I don't know. I don't see.
The only solution that you'd be able to do is design it for absolute ease of use. That's it. Right. There's nothing else you can do to get around it.
I honestly don't see the console market going that way. It'd be cool, but I don't see it happening.
No, they're going to go towards cloud systems, right? No one's going to buy games anymore. It's all going to be on a service you pay a monthly fee for.
Yeah, probably.
That's some bleak shit, man. I don't like it.
The future's depressing. Embrace it
now. Ugh. All right, well, we're at an hour and 10 minutes. Do we have any last words, anything? Oh, you know what I want to do, actually? 2019 predictions.
Yes, let's talk about the depressing future.
Well, while we're talking about it, you know.
We're talking about the future. Let's get a little more depressing, a little more in depth.
I think we're getting PlayStation 5 in 2019. I think it'll be the end of the year, but I think it's coming.
Do you think we'll get it like actually sold at that point, or just an announcement?
I do. Yeah.
You didn't answer my question. Do you think?
Yeah, I think it'll be sold.
Oh, okay.
No, I think it'll be in our hands in 2019.
You think we're getting the PlayStation 5 before the end of next year?
Yes.
I don't think so. I don't. I think they seen what happened with the jump the gun on the PS4 Pro and what happened with the Xbox One X coming a little later, and they both of them using AMD, and both of them using the same architecture. I think they're going to sit back and they're going to wait to see what transpires at E3 since they're not showing up. So they're not doing any major announcements till after E3, or unless they do something in February, because they said they're not having any press conferences in or around E3.
Yeah.
So unless they do something big at the first year, some big announcement out of nowhere, I don't see them announcing and launching the console in the same year.
Well, especially if they haven't announced it by E3. I mean, that's what, June?
Yeah.
Holiday season's not that far off, unless they're almost pretty much done and they're just sitting on it to wait for the right time.
I don't know. I think early 2020 is when we're going to see both consoles hit the market.
Could be.
Okay.
It wouldn't surprise me if Microsoft dropped theirs.
Oh, they're making
holiday season.
I figured June's going to be their launching point for their console. They're making the announcement at E3. That's my prediction for E3 is that.
Well, they've already said they're not going to release anything till 2020. They'll make an announcement this year, is what they said. But
we're going to get some official stuff from them this year.
I just think PlayStation 5 has been waiting. I think they've been quiet, but it's a quiet confidence. I think it's coming 2019. Wow. That's my prediction. What about you guys?
Well, I figured 2020. I figured they're going to announce it. I figured shortly after E3.
I don't mean specifically for that. I mean, make a prediction.
Oh, no, they won't. Well, you said that in the way you ended. Okay, my prediction 2019. Death Stranding 2019.
Oh, no. I have a rebuttal to that.
Never.
2019, it's going to be revealed that Hideo Kojima never actually created the game, and he's just been milking Sony to build his retirement fund so he can escape to the Cayman Islands. It's all been a lie.
Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, but it's all been a lie. It's not a game. It's just some CGI shit he recorded and released. That's it.
No, but yeah, fuck 2019 prediction. Shit, I don't know.
Well, pass the buck to one of these guys if you don't have nothing right now.
I think we're gonna see Sony relent on their crossplay stance in 2019. I think that's gonna be the year of it.
So I think they're gonna widen it and do a lot more.
I think they're gonna be more open to it, and kind of be like, all right, look, fine. Here's the stuff to make it happen. Because, I mean, Epic already said now that they've got it done, they're going to release whatever technical requirements it required. So you have to imagine that a company like Smite or Call of Duty, Black Ops 4 with their battle royale mode, PUBG now is on PS4.
Yep.
You got to imagine there's other companies out there that want that, and I think the pressure is just going to be too much.
You figure crossplay is going to be wide open in 2019?
Well, I mean, maybe not wide open, but I think Sony's going to go from a we're not ever doing this to look, man, if you can make it work, do what you got to do. We don't give a fuck. Which is where they should be anyway, really. As long as it doesn't brick our console, you do you.
Pretty much. All right, Fatty, what about you? Any predictions for 2019?
I think we're going to see Microsoft finally bridge the gap between Xbox and PC and sort of embrace PC players a little more than they have, especially with them talking this year about Xbox Game Pass coming to PC. I think we're finally going to see the two kind of come together. You know, there's going to be a lot more support going towards PC as well as Xbox. And I think ultimately it'll move towards more cloud-based systems, but I think this year we'll finally see some more moves from them to get into the PC ecosystem a little more than they are.
Yeah, I think that's likely.
I like to see that too, as someone that would like to play some of them games that doesn't want to go out and spend $80 a piece on. As long as the service stays cheap enough, then it'd be worthwhile to even pick it up month by month and play some games. But yeah,
Well, is this for Game Pass you guys talking about?
It's on for $1 right now for a month.
Yeah, that special on again.
Yeah,
I gotta tell you, man.
If anyone wants to pick that up and play, you know, State of Decay or Forza or something.
I watched a little bit of Sea of Thieves. Summit 1G was playing it, and shit looks pretty fun. I gotta tell you.
Yeah, they've added a lot. It was boring at first, but they've added a lot. I'd love to jump on.
I don't know if I can get it back for $1 since I already had the last deal that had on and no one else got it.
No, you should be able to.
I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
I canceled it again because I got charged for a full month. I'm like, shit, I don't know a full month of this.
Baker, $1. It's only $1.
Oh.
It's only $1.
$2. You spend like $9 on those giant cheeseburger cheat.
I spent a little more than that, actually.
$12.95, $17.95, whatever you pay. Game Pass is cheaper than a fucking cheeseburger. A lot cheaper than a cheeseburger, dude.
Yeah, but I get a lot of enjoyment from that burger, dude. You can't quite tell, but I mean,
4 minutes. 4 minutes of heaven. That's
4 minutes in heaven. It's the story of my life.
2019. I don't know if I have a really big 2019 prediction.
No?
I figure the consoles are going to be announced.
That's
I
too easy.
think Microsoft, their trend of buying up gaming companies, developers. Who's typing on a giant keyboard?
That'd be work.
Jesus, man!
I don't know what you're talking about.
Keyboard. But I think Microsoft is finally going to commit at E3, and they're going to actually have some first-party titles that are going to be worth fucking while. I mean,
That's a bold prediction.
They have to. They bought what, like 8 fucking developers this year.
Yeah.
Like they announced 5 of them at E3, and they announced more at the last Xbox conference. There's no way in hell they don't either have something in the fire, or if they don't announce a fucking big first-party title that's going to draw in fans. They wasted all that fucking time and effort and money to purchase 8 gaming developers in 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think they're gonna churn out something in a year. You know?
I don't think the game's gonna drop. But I figured.
Well, I mean, who's to say that one of those developers wasn't already working on something badass? You know.
True enough. That could be the one reason why they were bought. But I figured at E3 they're gonna announce a big title that people are gonna be blown away by, and they're actually gonna follow through.
I hope they bring back Scalebound.
Scale, but that game looked like shit.
Are you fucking kidding me? It looked badass.
Oh,
beer service.
It looked so fucking crazy.
nice.
Love you. Thank you.
I thought it looked cool. I was excited for it.
I'll tell you what the game will be. I can tell you what it'll be right now.
What?
Fable. It's gonna be the next Fable. You watch.
No, I think it's gonna be a new IP that no one saw coming.
That could be.
I mean, like I said, they bought too many gaming companies not to do something correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you throw enough fucking darts at the board, you're gonna hit a bullseye eventually.
Sure.
All right. So we've all got our predictions in. We covered, arguably the biggest stories in 2018. I'm trying to think of
topic fucking killed us.
but it's important to talk about it, whether we like it or not. It's undeniably the biggest success story of 2018.
God, stop saying that.
Well, what do you want me to say? We can't be biased here in our coverage.
Game of the year was God of War. That's all I can fucking. That's all I want to hear.
Yeah, it was. Boy.
Yeah. Either way, that's gonna do it here for the guys and myself, Beyond the Controller. Thank you guys for joining us. I see here in the chat that we've got 4 people here at the end. There was I think 6 at one point. Thank you guys for showing up. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's fun doing it live. I think that we all agree this is a lot better way to at least interact with each other.
Sure.
For me, it feels more like an actual legit news thing. I don't know. It feels more substantial. I like it.
Got it. Overlay idea.
You know what we didn't do, actually? Beard break.
Yeah.
Ready, break. Okay. So thank you guys very much once again. Meg, thank you. Appreciate the kind words.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Here's the 2019.
2019. We'll see y'all goons next year.
Yeah. Hey, 2018, why don't you go fuck yourself? I mean, if the 3 of you didn't see that coming.
Oh shit, that was good. That was good.
With your loot boxes and your Fortnites. Fuck.
And your 4,000 battle royale games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
Podcast battle royale.
All right. Well, that's gonna close it out. Fatty, kill the stream. See you guys
Kill it.
later.
Kill it with fire.